boys. Come on, get around each other.
High pressure game. High pressure. Will each other to put pressure on them. Okay? Get around your mates. Be talking all the time. Be communicating. Let's fucking go and get this guy. Yell at him. Tell him he's under pressure. The opposition. Just like on a kick-in, you'd yell at him. Okay? Yell at him when you fucking go and get him. We're all blood brothers. Like this group has come together like nothing I've seen before. From all across Canada, literally coast to coast, you come all this way. It comes down to one game, us against them, and I refuse for us to be beaten. I refuse to be beaten at a contest, over a quarter, and over the whole game. You have to refuse as well. Just fucking refuse. I know you're hurting. You've got to find it in yourself, or look at the bloke next to you, or look at the Maple Leaf, or whatever's going to inspire you. You have to do that today. You've got 70 minutes left. You may never play for Canada again. This group will never play again. So you got 70 minutes. 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, go boys!
Yes! Go Blitz, go grab the footies, boys.
What a way to start this 7v8 playoff in the International Cup for season 2017. It is the Fijian tribe taking on the Canadian North Wind. The Canadians a little bit beaten up, a little bit battered and bruised throughout the course of this tournament, with injuries right back to their captain and best player, Jim Ortel, who went down in the second game of the tournament against Great Britain, and things haven't gotten much better for them. They were the walking wounded after their defeat to Nauru a couple of days ago. As we see the toss of the coin in front of us, it is Fiji and Canada looking to finish 7th in the 2017 International Cup, and I'm joined here in the box at the Ransford Oval. It's a very good morning to Steve Murphy.
G'day Brendan, great to be here. Looking forward to this contest. As we said in the previous games, plenty of emotion in the national anthem, both sides looking to finish on a high to end the carnival.
And also joining us here on special comments for this game is Shane Fleming.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Looking forward to this game. Seen Fiji a couple of times. They're a bit of a live wire side. They made a bit of a meal of France in the first game, but since then the tournament hasn't really gone the way they've wanted it to. But a couple of players to keep a bit of an eye on, in particular Adipati Keiti, especially deep forward. He's a bit of a danger for them, and also Vatiti and Navuso are a couple of pretty important ball carriers for the Fijian side.
Always finds his way to the right spots, doesn't he, Keiti? He's really good to watch, the little fella down there in the forward pocket. Well, we're wasting no time. Canada wearing the alternate black and red strip today. Fiji in the silver and black. It is the 7th versus 8th playoff of the International Cup for season 2017 at Royal Park, Parkville. It is Fiji versus Canada. And for the first bounce, here's Steve Murphy.
Wyatt to go up against Ratu of Fiji. We're underway, the ball aloft in the air. Wyatt got pretty high, wins the contest down pretty decisively, goes forward. Reynolds, hand pass over the top, quick kick via Burke, well, just missed it. Now a pack forming across half forward for the Canadians, and it'll be a free kick coming up here to Vunu Tambua, who will get the free kick for Fiji. Tumbles the footy down towards the wing. Salavo attacks it, kept his feet nicely, spins around right boot, tumbles it down towards half forward. Kitty there for Fiji, gathers it, hand pass away, went across to Gio, teammate, who went inside forward 50. Good pressure put on by the Canadians back there through Martin. They combine a bit of good pressure. Duggan lends support. Now the Canadians back across to Reynolds, who puts a fist on the footy. The ball tumbles out of bounds at half forward for Fiji.
As we mentioned at the start, Kitty's a danger for the Fijian side. Already had a couple of touches. They'll have to really watch him closely, the Canadians.
Already a step up in pace from the 9v10 game we just saw. A good win for South Africa over France in that one, as we wait for the ball to make its way back from over near McAllister Oval. The ruckman to go at it will be Big Morgan White for Canada up against Salavu for the Fijians. Ball back into play. Short throw in, big fist from White, only as far as Mathanawai. He got dispossessed. Keaty tries to work his way through. Centering ball, that's really good vision, but it was well read as well by the Canadian defence. Little hand pass came through traffic, trying to pick it up. 3 or 4 goes at it there from Singh, couldn't do so. Little hand pass out from White, and there's a whistle on play, and a free kick coming back to Fiji. It's going to be taken, I think, by Salavu. It will be Samisa Salavu from the Rawaka Crows. Almost a 25-metre penalty there. The Canadians sneaking in from behind. Salavu sets it up towards the top of the goal square. Play on, front and centre. A chance for Geta. He got dispossessed, goes back again. Snap around the corner. Misses to the near side. Does Leone Mageta. And it will be out of bounds on the full, I think. The goal umpire did tap her chest, but has been overruled, so no score in the early going.
Martin to bring the football back in for the Canadians, who brings it out wide on the far side of the ground out there, looking for a teammate in Huard, who can't take the mark. It's off hands and the ball will be tossed back in. So the Fijians with the early going, Shane, in this contest at forward of centre?
Yeah, certainly are. Probably been a bit of an issue for Canada right throughout the tournament is winning the ball across that half-back line and getting it forward. So they'll have to watch that early stages. Probably try to get the ball in the hands of Jim Audley. He's one of their really good ball users.
Ratu with height, took it out of the ruck. That was a bit ambitious, but now a pack forming underneath all that. Here's Huard, who's been in the thick of the action early for Canada. Still no score in the contest. Couple of minutes old. The ball tossed up with no ruck contesting it. Reynolds ran through for the Canadians, up towards the wing, bouncing Pill. A chance to gather here for Loosemore. He tapped it in front, kept control of the Pill, then under some duress and pressure from Navuso, had to release a hand pass, now tied up. Good tackling there by the Fijian. Badavoli on that occasion, a ball up on the wing.
So, bit of a shepherd from White. Umpire said it was okay. Fell to the advantage of Mathanawai, who threw it on the boot back towards half forward off. Front spot for the Canadians in defence is Robin McDonald. He takes the mark. Plays on, he kicks into the man on the mark, but the umpire said he didn't call play on, so he'll march him back a 25-metre penalty, which is the rules in the International Cup, Murph, 25, not 50s. So it will be a, well, he's lucky not to give away another one there. I've seen those paid. McDonald on the wing, chips up towards half forward. It'll go over the head of the target, Nash, and a safe mark taken there by the tribe at half back. I think that was Mathanawai getting back. In fact, it was Salavu who kicks up towards the wing and puts it out of bounds on the full. So McDonald will get another crack at it for Team Canada.
Yeah, replay time. McDonald with a footy. So much of the Pill in the early part of all today, in the earlier game, has been played on the far side in these breezy, swirly conditions. Now Fiji rebounding off from half back, kicking up towards midfield. Hunting Neath underneath the football is Selawa. Unable to take the Pill. Kicked off from half-back. Loose ball down towards half-forward. An opportunity down there for the Lunds. He couldn't quite get it. Coming through. Busting his way through nicely is Burke. He's had a bit of the footy early on. Lund again, but intercepted. A chance for Fiji from half-back up towards the wing. Hunting underneath the ball is Duggan of Canada. Can't take a mark clearly, but numbers sit with the Canadians if they can pick it up cleanly. They're unable to do though. The big two ruckman, White underneath it alongside Radu of Fiji, and we have a ball up right on centre wing here. Broadcast side, still no score in this game.
Mickey Burke copping a little bit behind play there for Canada. Ball thumped forward by Ratu. Bounces away for the Fijians, and getting there first, Bainamolo Vanga. He just shrugged the tackle and it went over the line for a boundary throw-in. So first forward foray really here for Canada. Can they make something out of it? Ratu beaten forward by White. Trying to step through traffic and doing it well for Fiji was Bainamolo Vanga, but he couldn't get a real purchase on the kick. Brancati tries to work his way through. He's a star for Canada. Quick kick forward by Heward. Up towards the forward 50 it goes. Just keeping his feet was Harbour. Got bumped as he tried to get the kick away by Tubweki Badavoli. Taken for the tribe. Big bomb kick back to the wing. Goes through the hands of Kia Nwagatabu. Brancati left the footy behind. Selawa Masavu flicked it over the top. Getting back there is Mageta. Swings onto the right boot. Sends it forward for the Tribe towards forward 50. McDonald with the fist. Keaty at the back. Look at this. Little one off the outside of the boot. He needed a left foot there. Didn't quite have it. And in the end, the Canadian defence is able to get it through for a rush behind. The first score of the game, one behind to the Fiji Tribe.
Again, Keaty, just that live wire, as we mentioned, but one thing Canada will have to watch, they're going to have to watch their disposal, because if they turn it over, the speed of ball movement will certainly be with the Fijian side, the way they move the footy.
So they're very quick, aren't they?
So we've seen a couple of times the footy brought back into play and straight to that outer side and out of bounds for another restart. So the two ruckmen again, a bit of size about Radu here in the ruck for Fiji, so he'll have a bit of an advantage over White this afternoon in the contest if the Fijians can take a bit of advantage from that. So the Tribe working towards the front. White on this occasion did well with body work. There's been a free kick plucked out here for an illegal shepherd maybe in the ruck contest. So Fiji a chance to surge back inside forward 50. Long raking football finds his way through Moses, down deep inside forward 50, looking for Corey, who can't get his hands on the pill, and the ball will be thrown in. We're still sitting around 20 metres out from Fiji's goal. They have the only score of the contest so far, one behind, Canada yet to score.
So, boundary throw in. It rolls away. White just got a big fist on it, but it was beautifully read, and a flying shot from Mathanawai will land in the goal square. Picked up for the Canadians in the last line. McDonald on the boot. Quickly towards half-back. The spoil was made by Baina Molovaka. Quick kick off the ground for Canada. Out of defensive 50 it goes. Lund is a prime mover for them. He can't keep it in play. It goes over the line for a boundary throw-in. Lund in the midfield. Nash up forward. And, of course, the big fella Brancati in defence of the three to really watch for Canada. Ball back into play. Trying to work his way through there was the big man in fact Salavu, who kicks inside forward 50, but only as far as McDonald for Canada. Brought it back towards the wing. White at the back, and that is a terrific grab. Just stole it out of the hands of Samisa Salavu. Some umpires would say play on, but it was a good clean grab. Big kick towards half forward. Off hands it goes to ground level. It ends up with Valatieri. Threw it on the boot. Back towards half forward. Lands on its end and goes back over the head of the attacking Canadian in White. And it'll roll over for a boundary throw-in.
They're a very skillful side, aren't they, the Fijians? The way they just, the little deft taps, try to put a teammate into a attacking area.
In fact, a Fijian free kick was picked out of that behind the Canadian bench. Numbers with the north wind, and they should come out of defence. Dangerous handball from Duggan. Fiji working over the top. Mathanawai. And now Canada will come clear through the agency of Brassington.
Brassington's kick, not too bad, went up towards the wing, taken off hands now. A chance for Klein to go forward for Canada inside 50. A bit of a shove there against Nash, and he'll get the free kick. Wolfgram there, just infringing right in front of the umpire. So an opportunity here for Canada, their first one to have a shot on goal.
He's their key target, Adam Nash, and as we've seen throughout the tournament, Shane, he really loves engaging with the crowd. So anyone gives him a bit of a mouthful, he's quite happy to give it back.
That's one way to put it, I suppose, Brendan. But look, definite free kick there. You probably don't get more obvious hands in the back than that.
So for all the dominance, I guess, and time in open forward territory for Fiji, a chance for Nash to put the first major on the board. He liked it the moment it left the boot. Canada lead the contest. They get the first goal of the game.
Yeah, good start there for Canada, obviously, to get the first one. That's exactly what they would have wanted. Fiji, they tend to ride the crest of a wave. I've noticed when they've got momentum, they can really put the score on the board. But when it's going against them, they can tend to fall in a heap. So a good start was exactly what they needed, the Canadian side.
Yeah, the north wind, as I said a few times, down on troops, including Jim Ortell, who came into this tournament as one who was mentioned as likely to be a match winner for them. He's been out since game 2 with that serious knee injury. One
thing I have noticed too, they are really rotating their bench even early on the Canadian side. There's already been 4 or 5 changes for the north wind.
They definitely do that. sure whether they've even got a full bench. I can only see a couple here, so that would suggest the injuries that they've got. Quick kick hacked out of the middle there from Eric Klein. Goes as far as Harbour, who kicks in towards full forward. Loose Moore the target. Ball to ground level. Trying to work his way through there was Tui over. Now he picks it up and kicks back towards half back. Almost Brassington it was. Kicked away from him there by Ratu into the centre of the ground. Brancati backed himself but couldn't pick it up. Hacked off the ground. Doesn't clear the zone. Brassington flicked it out to Klein. His kick was smothered. Back again there was Klein. Dispossessed. Gathered now for the Fijians, and the Tribe will come out of defence through the agency of Tui over.
Tui over, long raking ball down towards half forward, setting a bit of a task down here for Kitty. Traps the footy nicely now. Fleet of footy is. Gates the footy on. Elects to kick an inside drop punt down towards about 20 out for goal. Getting back White. A good mark by the ruckman. Getting back in defence to help his side out now. Switching the play immediately across out towards the boundary. The intended target there in Klein. It's fisted away from him by Mathaway. And the ball will be tossed in. Still 60 metres sitting currently out from the attacking goal of Fiji. They have a minus score. The Canadians through Nash with the only goal of the contest so far in this 7th v 8th playoff. The breeze picking up and the clouds starting to settle in. So hopefully no rain for this contest anyway. Reynolds with a bit of bulk work. Takes it off the pack. Right boot pass looking for Brassington. But in the way against him, Vunatambua. Gathers the ball for Fiji towards midfield, but an ill-directed pass, and the mark has been taken by Anderson.
Anderson or boots up towards half forward. Getting back there first was Valatieri. Swings onto the right boot. Sends it back from where it came, only as far as Klein, who trapped it well. Threw it on the boot up towards the forward pocket it goes. Well judged by Wolf Graham. Plays his footy locally for Jacana. Over the top, and Klein, well, he's tried to milk the 25 and he's got it. Did go to ground reasonably easily there, I thought, Shane. There was a shove. There was a shove, but he made sure it was seen. Klein, no one on the mark, so he ran away, and he ran into an open goal and put it through. Great thinking by Klein, forward thinking, but disappointing defence from the Fijians, and the North Wind have too.
Well, disappointing on a couple of fronts that they didn't have the man on the mark to stop the quick play on, especially when he was going to get the 25 inside or within range. But also, he did go to ground easily, but for the Fijian player to put himself in that situation by giving the little shove anyway was silly play in the first place.
Yeah, it was certainly there. He made sure it was seen. Is what I'm getting at, but it was there was no question that was there, and it didn't need to happen.
No, absolutely.
A little more physicality off the ball in this game, guys, than what we've seen in the earlier one that I would have thought.
You can see what it means to them. Canada finished 5th in the last tournament, so they'd be disappointed to be in this game, and they'd be very annoyed if they dropped to 8th.
Reynolds got a chance for Canada to gather the footy. Did very nicely. Looks clean, Reynolds. Beautiful delivery inside 50 as well. Looks like Tersingi on the end of it to take the mark for Canada. Just inside forward 50. Reynolds already with a couple of decisive touches in this game, Shane.
Yeah, certainly getting his hands on the ball early and using it very well as well.
So Canada, you'd almost argue that Fiji have had probably more of the footy, or certainly more time in forward half of the ground, but it is Canada lining up for a 3rd straight goal in this game, and that one's off target for a blemish on the scoreboard. But at the moment, Canada attacking and doing it nicely in the opening term here of the International Cup 7th v 8th playoff.
So Wolf Graham will bring it back into play for the Tribe. Not much movement for him, so he chips it to himself. Goes for a little gallop, gains his distance and sends it out to the wing. Klein brought the ball to ground away from Salawa Masavu. Goes back and gets another possession, but it was taken away from him by Kakatini, who goes towards half forward. It'll bounce away. It was put sideways by Brancati, and it'll go over the line for a boundary throw-in. 2 goals, 1-13 Canada. Fiji just the solitary behind on the board. As we head towards quarter time here at Royal Park at Ransford Oval. 2 minutes remaining. So a crucial little period just before the break here as White gets to the front spot. Was possibly held. Umpire said no. Fell out the back, and the umpire will call for a ball up.
Ball to be thrown up. 60 metres sitting out from Fiji's attacking goal. One high in the contest. Plethora of players around the ball. A free kick's been plucked out here again. That man Reynolds. So much of the ball. One of the better players in the opening term. Right boot pass down out wide, outer side of the ground. Pitches down there in front of Valatieri. And he can't trap the footy. And the ball slides past him and out of bounds for a ball in. Forward half of the ground for the Canadians.
Certainly plenty happening off the ball. You're right with your comment a little bit earlier, Stephen, that compared with the first game, both teams, you can see behind play, even put a bit of pushing and shoving going on.
High skill level, but for most part of this opening term, Canada been able to move the ball pretty efficiently when going forward and very accurate with their kicking. The ball tossed in. White, the smaller ruckman, works his way to front. Reynolds wrapped up immediately in a tackle there by Moses of Fiji. Bustling his way through is Narvuso of Fiji, and they work it from the back half of the ground. But an ill-directed pass has been cut off by Brancati on the wing for Canada.
So Giancarlo Brancati onto the right boot, sets it up towards half forward, looking for Loosemore. Couldn't drag the footy to ground. Managed to get a hand pass. Trying again, Klein to flick it out the back. This was taken by Vuna Tabua. And he was worked towards the line and over for a boundary throw-in. In fact, the umpire might say, give it to me, and he'll throw it up instead. He's going to bring it back in from the line. He won't get too far because the siren has sounded for quarter time, and Canada have got themselves off to a good start with the only 2 goals of the first quarter. Cody Royal will be pretty happy with that, the coach. They're 2 goals, 1-13. Fiji 1 behind, through goals to Adam Nash and Eric Klein. And that was how they won their game.
Boys, great first quarter. Great first quarter.
Boys.
Okay? Boys, you can tell that they don't want it. Right? I reckon we're on. Took us a little while to get into it, but I reckon they don't want it. They don't want it as much as we do. No. Right? It's clear. Right? They won't bend over and pick up the ball. Okay? We will. We've got to get in and win the ball back. It's not going to be a game. I don't want it to be a game of waiting for turnovers. I want it to be a game of forced turnovers. I want us to force them. I want us to get up in their grill and force turnovers. Okay? The thing that's disappointing so far is I don't think you're looking after each other with the voice. Body, definitely, but this isn't hockey. I shouldn't have to be screaming out 5 minutes into the first quarter to talk to each other. You don't have an option in this sport, okay? When we call Tallulah, everyone calls Tallulah. When we call anything, everyone calls it. 30 seconds. It's not an option. Not an option. Is that clear?
Yep.
Everyone.
Yep.
Everyone. If you don't, you'll come and sit on the bench. That goes across the board. Everyone. Not talking is not an option. Not giving instructions, not telling everyone what you see is not an option. I guarantee you, our players up here, if we start talking to each other, our play will go to here. We will crush these guys and we'll step on their throat. Okay? Let's go, boys.
Put the pedal down now, boys.
Good start. First 5 minutes, let's go again. Yeah. Right? You can see that we're on. Let's be smart in the conditions, right? Use this top side to attack, bottom side to defend. Start talking to each other. Let's fucking step on these guys' throats.
Let's go, boys.
Let's go.
Come on, boys.
Come on, boys.
Tata tried to work it forward for Fiji on the end of it there. Magege and a free kick, and it'll go the way here of Canada. I didn't see what it was for, Shane.
No, neither did I. I'd say it might have been for a hold without the footy.
Quick kick from Martin, the acting captain for Canada, puts it out towards the wing Reynolds. Was he pushed? Umpire said he was. So the free kick will go to Garrett Reynolds, who has been a pretty good performer throughout the course of this tournament. It's the 3rd time I've seen the Canadians, and Reynolds has been pretty prolific throughout those other 2 matches. He's on the defensive side of centre wing, chips up towards half forward, through the hands of Nash, who jumped a little bit early. Quick kick away for the Tribe back towards the wing. Matthias Singh can't get hold of the footy. He manages to tap it away towards the line and over for a boundary throw-in.
Just seem to be first to the footy at the moment too, the Canadian side. Just getting their hands on the ball first, which, as we know, always a good way to get your nose in front.
Has become a little bit fresher as well across the ground. As the ball, we await to be tossed back in. Plenty of players around the ball, all pretty close radius to each other. Umpire taking a while to throw it back in. The flag's very blustery here. Has definitely been the highest point for the game. Now, a free kick for a hold off the football that'll go the way of Fiji, I fancy. Or no, the umpire's adjudicated or signalled the wrong way initially. So the free kick ends up going the way of Graham up to the wing, but only for a matter of time. So players need to probably take that into account, or they do need to take into account the wind factor, because we've seen a few footies fly over the fence out of bounds on the full style. The opening term is the Fijian Tribe boys surge forward with a footy. It's Wolf Graham. Left boot, lovely looking pass as well, down towards half forward. Plenty of purchase on it. Vatata clears the back of his head. An opportunity for Gio getting on the end of it. Sweeps a bit of magic, swings on the left boot. And there's a whistle but for out of bounds. No, a free kick for Shane for, was it high contact?
Yeah, it might have been for high contact, but I'm not sure why he hasn't allowed the advantage to go there with the kick going into the goal square. He blew the whistle before the ball got there. So
it looked like he waited to see what the result of the kick was.
Yeah.
I thought it was straight, but it must have went behind the stick, so he decided to cancel the advantage and bring it back.
Yeah, it looks straight to me too, but anyway.
Well, Gio, tough kick from here against the boundary line. Would take his best effort you'd fancy. Favoured side for a left foot kick. Slides across, almost into the goalpost. Somehow it's been kept alive. Acrobatic sort of style there over the top of the head by Bad Volley, it looked like, and through for a minor score for Fiji.
So the first score of the second quarter to Bonamolo. And away comes Martin for the Canadians. It's a dangerous kick, almost chopped off by Mathanawai. And the umpire calls for a ball up. Jonathan Mathanawai gets a bit of the football. Plays for the University of Queensland. Turns 20 on Tuesday, so a celebration for the end of the tournament for him. Quick kick away for the Canadians has been marked by Mickey Burke. It almost threw him off his feet getting hold of that one. And the Edmonton Wombat puts it in towards half-back, knocked down by Klein. Chance here for Fiji. Funa Tabua couldn't break the tackle. The Canadians want holding the ball. They're not going to get it. Up and down kick inside 50. Martin with the fist, knocked it to ground. Singh tracks it out towards the line. Keedy was there. Had claims on a free kick for being held. The umpire said no. We'll have a throw in.
So waiting for the footy to be tossed in. Just around from Fiji's attacking goal. So similar to how they had in the opening term. They had a bit of the footy forward to start the quarter. But then Canada very much took control in the back half of it. Coming off the head here of Lund of Canada. He raised the hands above the head but was well tackled. And that footy out of bounds, still inside forward 50 for the Tribe.
That wind looks like it's swinging around again, which might help keep the rain at Geelong from heading in our direction.
And it certainly has picked up too. It's getting a lot stronger, but it's a bit of a swirly breeze at the moment.
If that rain is on the way, then it's even more important this lead that Canada currently have and could possibly extend. Although Fiji with a chance, a hurried kick forward coming out of the pack by that volley towards the Golds, but it's gone out of bounds on the full, has it, guys?
Tug of the jumper, free kick to Jacob Martin.
Okay, Martin will get the free kick. It's in the left back pocket for Canada, who lead the contest. A couple of goals, one to a couple of behinds.
So, he plays for one of the best nicknames in footy that I've seen, the Grand River Gargoyles, out of Ontario. Jacob Martin, he's filled in as captain since the injury to Ortel earlier on in the tournament. Ball brought to ground. Turning back into traffic was Wesley. He got dispossessed, and the umpire will call for a ball up.
Gargoyles, that's right off the Smurfs, isn't it?
Nah, that's Gargamel.
Gargamel,
yes,
there we go.
Yeah.
But Gargamel's would be a good name as well.
It would be. The gargoyles, they're those big, ugly creatures that sit on top of the stone pillars and castles, aren't they? It, certainly a good nickname, that one, out of Ontario. Boundary throw in on the outer flank where the ball has spent most of the day, both in the first and the second game. White was grabbed without the ball in the ruck contest, so he will be able to clear for the Canadian North Wind.
Bit of sunshine tries to break through the clouds here. White kicks the footy up towards out there to Nash, who can't take the mark. In fact, out of bounds on the full again. Players flirting with a lot of danger out there on that side of the ground. The free kick going the way of Wolfgram. Not the first time he's had the footy from this position. He's a lovely kick of the ball. Can kick at 50, and he sits back, leans back, pulls out the driver. Takes a little bit off it in the end, down towards his intended target of Gio. Can't take the mark, and the footy slides out of bounds for another toss back in. Forward of centre wing. Canada can't get the ball forward of centre wing at the moment in the second term. They still have the only couple of goals of the game, but Fiji, law of averages would suggest sooner or later they're going to break through here. White, front position, wins it down. Working it forward, Canada bustling a chance for Wolfgram to come in. Had it just taken off him momentarily. Canada through numbers, work it forward nicely. Terasingi tapped it forward, got it inside forward 50. Now it becomes a foot race. First back there is Valetieri for Fiji. Gathers it for the Tribe. Takes on a would-be tackler. Wonderful grab there by Klein and rewarded with a holding the ball free kick in the right forward pocket for Canada.
He's really playing some sort of game so far, Eric Klein.
Well, he did play on, but it has to come back. It was a beautiful pass too to Harbour, who had a much easier shot.
Again, he's improved as the tournament's gone on, Eric Klein, and he's really turning it on in this last game.
Feel a little bit for Valetieri. He won the foot race and then just probably slightly ambitious in the end. So a chance for Klein. We're going to see how good of a kick he is. I don't think he went for goal. He more squared it up. And in the end, a very nice kick has found its mark in Nash, who's kicked the goal for Canada already today.
Poor checking there from the Fijian side to allow Nash some clear space so close to goal. It's not going to be an easy kick from here, especially kicking into the wind as well. But he's got a very good boot on him and knows exactly where the goals are, does Adam Nash.
Well, he shapes up Stevie J style, comes around, bends it back and kicks a lovely goal. As good a goal as you'll see in the International Cup today. Beautiful finish. Nash has a couple and Canada have 3.
Yeah, lovely finish there from Nash. But look, I suppose we mentioned at quarter time, both teams are kicking down the line and kicking to the contests and not really bringing out the space. I'm yet to really remember any occasion where a team's tried to switch the play and bring it out to, well, the broadcast side of the ground, which would make it a little bit easier for you two boys as well. But really, that's probably the one area that the Fijians have the advantage over Canada, and at the moment they're not using it.
And that's across 5.5 quarters too, so they would have seen a fair bit of the first game to get some sort of idea, but hasn't happened yet. As Loosemore having a run in the ruck, gets a quick kick away towards half forward, bouncing ball in front of Tassini, taken away by the Fijian defender in Gio Nwagatabu. Into the centre of the ground it goes. Bit of a fumble there from Aspel. Fed it back to Loosemore, flicks it over the top now. Home. Mitch Home to Klein once again. Swings onto the right boot, chips inside 50 over the head of the target there, which was Bridges. Picked up by Wolfgram, who swing around. Little ball through. They're working this one well out of defence, the Fijians. Long kick came down towards centre wing position. Here is Fiji through Gio Nwagatabu. Kicks up towards half forward. It goes over the head of the defence. Who's getting back there first? Guess who? It's Keedy. Can he get around one tackle? No, he can't. Fed the hand pass off. Martin takes it for Canada, and he will relieve. That was dangerous for Fiji, but Canada did well.
Did very well. Navuso there a chance. Wonderful bear hug type tackle by Navuso. Rewarded? No.
Dangerous tackle.
Okay. So the free kick going the way of none.
We're still getting used to those, aren't we?
You'll see a little bit of that with the Fijian side. They hit him pretty hard.
Nice low shoulder straight into the textbook in a lot of ways, but not paid obviously. Brancati for Canada. Kicks it inside forward 50. Nash a run and leap at the footy. Wolfgram with courage. Back for Fiji. Nash, fleet of foot, gathers it, fell over, regathered again. He's already kicked one banana in the term. He can't kick a second. Bounces out of bounds, but deep inside the forward line for Canada.
It's really the old textbook, isn't it, Murph? Unfortunately, they've ripped that page out to protect against potential concussions, and that is one rule that is being officiated here in the International Cup. Some of the others, like the deliberate out of bounds and the rush behinds, are not being picked up as strongly. So the free kick must be taken. In fact, it must have bounced inside, so it's not going to be a free kick. It'll be a boundary throw-in. So still a scoring opportunity for North Wind. Ball back into play. White tapped it to ground. Working out there was Vunatabua. Taken by Lund, who got poleaxed. That's a big Fijian tackle, that one, and it stunned him. And the umpire has found a free kick, has he? Or he'll call for a ball up?
I must have missed the other one. I thought that was similar between the two with the low
I
shoulder.
I thought exactly the same thing. Yep, exactly the same.
Agree completely. Ball up. Fiji go through traffic. Here is Klein again. Handball back in. It was left behind by Lund. Working hard was Navuso, the captain for Fiji. Now it is taken by Aspel, who was knocked away from him. The Canadians want a free kick for in the back. They get one for holding the ball instead. And it'll be taken right on the centre wing position by Matthias Singh.
Great rundown tackle from behind there by Singh.
Singh chips it up towards the flank, looking for Klein. Can't take the mark. Shrugs one tackle, fed the hand pass back. Caught was Bridges, dispossessed. Fijians now can break through Vunatabua. Drives into the centre of the ground. It goes straight through the target. Straight off the bench, Martin picks it up for Canada. Oh, there's a Falcon. It went straight through Aspel's hands and bounced off his forehead. And in the end results in a free kick to Fiji.
Need to try and move the ball quickly here, Fiji. Get it in before they can get numbers behind the ball, Canada.
Gio moves it across pretty quickly as well. Finds the intended target there in Vatata, who goes inside forward 50. Much better ball movement by the Fijians to get it inside 50. The hurry, the emergency in which they moved it to end up having a shot and a chance at goal here inside forward 50. So Fiji yet to kick a goal today. A chance to change all of that with a kick on its way. It looks pretty tight, and they have their first of the game. A beautiful finish there on the outer side, guys. A wonderful little kick by Fiji to get the first. They needed much needed one because they've had so much time with the footy inside forward 50, but really just haven't been able to get any reward. Was it Paulie in the end that kicked it? Through for the Fiji guys, and they get the first goal of the game for them.
It just goes to show how dangerous they can be when they can move the ball quickly and they have got space. Vatiti and Paulie both finding a bit of open ground out there, and they're able to hit the targets, Fiji. They just need to do a little bit more of it.
Ball up in the centre. Important goal for the tribe, but it was taken away by Canada by Lund towards half forward, and that was a beautiful kick lace out. And it found Morgan White, who takes the mark just on the 45.
He's been pretty good today, White. I've been impressed with his game so far.
Throws his weight around nicely, doesn't he? He's had a pretty good tournament for Canada. And it will be a kick from around about 50. It's going to swing back on the breeze. Not quite enough. It hit the post. So a good effort from White, through for a point. And the first score of the second quarter for Canada, they go to 2-2-14. Fiji 1-1-7. Samisa Salavu was that goal scorer for the Fijians.
Rakoli, leap for the footy, can't take the mark, ground level, brilliantly done there. Vatata, brilliant skills. And now Fiji, a chain of hand passes ends up. Back with Vatata, down towards half forward. Beautiful pass too. On the end of it, Wesley to take the mark. Fiji, hand pass over the top. Paulie alongside, looking inside 50. Left boot, little awkward sorting kick, but it might do the job, not quite. Bounces on its end and goes sideways through for a minus score. But the best passage of play by Fiji by a long way in this game so far. Beautiful transfer of the footy.
Again, just see how dangerous they can be when they do move the ball quick like that. They are a fairly electric team, but so far Canada have just been able to close them down.
And which side of the ground did they move it down?
Exactly, yes.
The vacant telecast side, as Martin brings it back into play. Reynolds takes a good mark on defensive 45, plays on, sends it towards the wing. White runs hard to get there. The ball bounces in his favour, but the line is too close and it goes over for a throw-in. 3 goals to 20 Canada, leading Fiji, who are 1 goal 3-9. It's an 11-point lead to the North Wind. White thumps it forward, ducking under the tackle there. The Fijian player trying to go through was Tabuki Badavoli. He couldn't do so, and it's going to be another ball up. White won the tap. Lund gets a lot of the football, swings onto the right boot and snaps it up towards half forward. And back with the flight of the ball, Mathanawai takes a good mark for Fiji.
Yeah, it was a good mark. Plenty of courage there. Mathanawai now spins around right boot and cleverly done too. Didn't panic, gave the Wolf Graham, who's got some space off left half back to use the footy. Not a great kick. Back with courage there. Unable to take the mark there was Klein of Canada. And a free kick here holding the ball. It'll go the way. Well, almost 25. He puts it on the ground. Gives it back to the umpire. So Klein with a free kick up on the wing. Although I think it probably should have been home, but it doesn't matter. Klein goes down towards half forward. Inside vacant open sort of territory in the end. Kitty from half back dumps it back towards midfield. Thaddy flies for the footy. Could have been off loose Moore's Scott in the end. Come through again, Thaddy over the top. A chance for Navuso as well in there to lend support. And then Salvo as well, who kicked the last goal in there for Fiji. So plenty of numbers around the pill, trying to work it forward for Fiji once more. In the ruck, one down here pretty decisively by Loosemore of Canada. Now towards half forward, Balamoli Wagga tries to run onto it. He was outpointed by Terasingi. Now Nash got a fresh air sort of kick to it as well. And Fiji with numbers will rebound from half back.
And that'll be Penasoni Tuiova, who goes into the centre of the ground. This is looking dangerous. Turning back in was Gialevu. He kicks up towards full forward, looking for, but unable to find the big man in Karoi, who can kick a goal. I tell you what, who else can kick a goal? And that's Salavu. But he has not managed to get the distance, and it's off hands and through for a behind. As the siren should be due any second. It's right there in front of us, and it is half time. The Canadians are wondering what's going on there, that the siren was a little bit overdue on the clock, but I had my timer buzzing around about the time of the score, so there's no problem with that for me.
No, I'm in agreement with you too, Brendan. So was mine.
So it is half time here at Ransford Oval. The sun is shining just for now, and the Canadians are a little bit nonplussed by that. They think every point could be vital, but it is half time. Canada leading 3-20 over Fiji, 1-4-10 by 10 points at half time. 2 goals to Nash and 1 decline for Canada. Fiji, Samisa Salavu with their major score.
Boys, good half of footy, okay? Going against the wind, it was never going to be easy that quarter. Stuck to our guns, pushed the ball to that side, and then chose when we used this side. Really, really strong, okay? That's footy, right? There's a reason we're matched up 7th versus 8th. They can play a little bit of footy as well. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Right. I reckon we're on. But I'll tell you what the oldest trick in the book is that when things aren't going your way on the scoreboard, you start to lift the elbows a little bit and you start to pretend like you're tough. You start to dump tackles, head high, all that sort of stuff. And I'll tell you why it's the oldest trick in the book, because you fall for it. You are falling for it right now. If you think the next 35 minutes, it's just going to be, they're just going to go hands off and you can run around and kick goals, you've got something else coming. It is the oldest trick in the book for a reason, because it works and it's working on you right now. Don't be that group. It is tougher to run past, get an elbow in the face, look at him, smile at him, and point at the scoreboard than it is to be a dickhead and try and retaliate and give away a free kick and cost your team. It's a team sport. When they start to do this sort of stuff, it should galvanise you. Don't retaliate. Do the opposite. Walk away from it. Punish them on the scoreboard. It's the only thing that matters. Retaliation doesn't show up on the scoreboard. It's not on the box score. No one gives a shit. You might impress a girl over here, maybe. No, exactly. Okay? Do not get sucked in, but help your teammates. There's 18 out of you out there together. You see something happen, help your teammates, but don't go stupid. Okay? Let's keep chipping away at this. It's going to be another 35 minutes of tough footy. Windy footy, it's hard to judge the ball. Okay? Chip away and chip away and chip away. Keep talking to each other. Right? We were better that quarter, was it not?
Yep.
Yeah. Much better, and our level of play went up. Okay? Let's just watch on that far side. You can't kick to the man. Okay? So the wind's blowing that way, it's going to blow the ball out. right? You've got to kick to a spot. You're picking a spot on the ground to kick to that's just to the middle of the ground away from where you're kicking it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Now, if you kick to the man, the ball's going to go out of bounds. You've got to pick a spot and allow the ball to move in the air. Okay? In close.
Go, boys.
Boys, bring it in. Boys, a quarter, boys. Big half here, boys. Big half of footy. It's been a great half so far. First 5 minutes here, let's fucking be on. Let's be right on, okay? Kick the first goal, get up and about. Don't let this bullshit sniping, don't let it take away our focus. That's the easy stuff. They want to do that stuff. We don't want to do that stuff. That's why we wear the make-believe, okay? It's fucking tougher. Alright? First 5 minutes, let's fucking be hard at it. Let's help each other out, talk to each other, get the first one on the board, okay?
Come on, boys.
Let's go, boys! 1, 2, 3, ready?
1, 2, 3, blast!
Come on, boys!
Hey, let's go, boys.
And this is Steve Murphy.
And a delayed start because a free kick for a centre square infringement. So it'll go the way of Canada. White gets the footy, kicks it inside forward 50 down there in search of Tasingi. Can't take the mark. Quick kick from Fiji out. Goes back straight to White, who's had a fair impact on this contest in the opening term. Piercing ball long inside forward 50 down there in search of Graham. Comes out, can't take the mark, clears the back of the pack. A chance is a Harbour running onto it and a flying shot at goal through for a minor score. In fact, I think it was Bork. And a minor score. So Canada start with an 11-point lead. They start with the first score of the second half. They now lead by 11.
So Wolf Graham to bring the ball back into play for the Fijians. He wants to go over to that populated outer side again. He drives it long and wide. It was a good kick. Ball to ground level, front and centre was Tabuki Badavoli. He got smothered off the boot. And the umpire sees a free kick here. And it's going to go to Fiji.
Yeah, hold off the ball, I think it was, Brendan.
It'll be taken by Salavu. On the halfback flank for the Fijians. Shane Fleming, Stephen Murphy, Brendan Rhodes with you here at Ransford Oval. Ball up towards centre wing. No mark taken there by Heward. Back to where it came for Canada. Spinning through traffic was Bork, but he left the football behind. And the umpire will call for a ball up as Garrett Reynolds was slung out of the contest. He thinks he's got a free kick. The umpire says, give it to me.
I think he's seen that one before, the umpire.
It's a good trick. Sometimes can work. Ball through was Ratu. Thumped away by Singh. Running onto it, Klein. Unable to get it away, and it's over for a throw-in.
Out on the outer side wing once more. Few people building, certainly more people around the ground than what there were in the opening game earlier this morning. Radu from behind a White. Probably White just on points. Players converge, a whistle on play, and a free kick going the way of Canada. So looking to move it pretty quickly. Klein, right boot, wobbles it down towards half forward. No mark able to be taken. The pack forms around the ball, flicking it out over the top. Moses of Fiji did cleverly off half back. Bain Molly Wagga wrapped up in a very nice tackle and will be dispossessed and awarded a free kick to Canada at half forward, going the way here of Lund. It's a Lund to attack. Canada doing so early stages of the second half. Lund probably maybe beyond his range, although he looks reasonably comfortable with it. Has the footy, will have to kick it beyond 50. Gets fair purchase on it. It's a lovely looking kick off the boot, right to the line. Big pack, comes off hands and through for a minor score. But a lovely kick there by Lund from beyond forward 50.
Great effort there from Lund, but even the tackle at the top of the 50 to bring Bain Molly Wanga to ground, that was just as good.
Wolf Graham drives to the outer side again. Klein knocks it to the surface. Here's a chance now for Canada. Umpire says free kick for a push, and it's coming back to the north wind. And well, it might be a little bit far out to score the Canadians. And it's one of the veterans for Team Canada with the football. Lining up from just inside the 45. In fact, right from the stripe. He kicks to the top of the goal square. Forced to come in and knock it away was Mathanawai. And then he goes again. Little hand pass over the top. Fiji can come out of defence. A long kick away came from Silawa Masavu, but it goes out of bounds on the full once again, and they still aren't learning. Just being very, very wasteful with the ball are the Fijians. You're right, Brendan, they're not learning at all with their disposal. And look, you keep giving the Canadians opportunities to go forward. Eventually they're going to hurt you on the scoreboard.
Looking for a side to be bold in this game, guys. Maybe switch the play, bring it across, come back into traffic. Something a bit different at the moment. Now, the footy, Brancati down towards half forward. Moses with a leap of Fiji. Lund cleverly trapped the footy, then ran inside forward 50, ran the measure, but ill-directed kick on this occasion. Well within his repertoire, but couldn't execute it. And Lund a couple of behinds in this final term. Attacking Canada to commence, in the third term. Attacking Canada. Wolfgram to bring the footy back in. Now, I'd love him to maybe even chip to himself and take on the game a little bit here. He's a lovely kick of the footy.
Got the loose man on telecast side. Look at Keaty out here in front of us.
Probably
he's not even looking this way.
Not beyond his range to kick to him as well, mind you, from about 60. Just takes a fair bit off. It kicks inside. That is a lovely leaping mark being taken out there. But Molly Wagga has the footy right boot up towards the wing, although, and as Brendan keeps saying, very wide again, and same result, out of bounds on the full.
The wind just picking it up at every occasion, Shane.
No, it is, and bringing it out to that defensive side of the ground isn't going to help them score or move the football at all, Brendan. They need to be a bit smarter about the way they're going about it and bringing it out to this attacking side of the ground, because they're the team that needs to make the play.
I think the plan is trying to make it harder for Canada coming in to score, kicking across that breeze, but it makes it so much harder to score yourself. Running down that way as Bainamolo Wanga took the mark, sent it back from where it came, but only as far as Brancati, who goes for a gallop, spears it inside 50 and finds Loosemore.
Just noticed Tasigny's come off the ground too, guys. Looks like he's got a pretty serious hand complaints as well there with his thumb. It looked like the doctor was checking him out, may have been a broken thumb.
Yeah, no luck at all for the Canadians in this tournament. Seeing Nick Liang in front of us as well, who's out of the team. There's Trent Loosemore, who hasn't kicked a goal in the 4 games from the Calgary Kangaroos. He kicks from 42 metres out. He still hasn't kicked a goal. He's pushed it across the face and through for one behind. Canada go along now to 3-6-24. Fiji 1-4-10.
Being a bit wasteful in this quarter of the Canadians. They probably could have nearly put it away by now, but they're peppering the goals, just not through the big sticks.
Wolf Graham, something different on this occasion. Straight up the middle, that's a very good mark. Mathanawai, a beautiful grab off half back. Mathanawai dumps the footy up the wing, looking for Zalavu, but a beautiful mark in the way has been taken here by Adair, who right boot pass down towards half forward. Bit of kick to kick at the moment by the two sides. Again, Mathanawai gathers it, tumbles it back to half forward, and this time the mark has been taken by Singh from half back for Canada. Chip short to Brancati, over the top, spoiling him is Salivo for Fiji across half forward. Singh comes through again, taps it forward, tries to dispossess, coming through Vunatambua, and a free kick here to Vunatambua, who will take advantage immediately and play on for Fiji. Runs his measure, 55 out, sets it, sail down towards goal. It's long, it's pretty strong, but it's just touched down there. Good defensive work by Martin of Canada, and through for a rush minor score.
We tick past 7.5 minutes in this third term. Margin is 13 points in favour of the North Wind. Short ball back in from Martin, finds Burke, who has it in the back pocket. Mickey Burke brings it down towards the telecast wing. Loosemore, that, well, it would have been a good mark, but it was taken out of his hands by White. And in the end, that was a pretty clear mistake. And holding the ball is the decision. Just saw ball and got ball there, did Morgan White. He should have left it for Loosemore. Free kick taken by Tebweki Badavoli towards half forward, and now eventually back to Navuso on the 1-2 with Vititi. Quick kick up towards half forward, went offline from Badavoli. Klein, close to best on so far, kicks towards half forward, but only as far as Valatieri.
Oh, guys, I saw something that I really didn't like then. Player coming off the ground, injured, clearly with an injured shoulder. And Vunitabua just ran straight into him and into that shoulder that he was carrying. I didn't like that whatsoever.
No, you don't like seeing that at any level, do you?
Canada from half back. Aspel dumping the footy in a hurry under pressure up towards the wing. Pack forming underneath the chance. Wolfgram gathers it, flicks it out wide. Running onto it here is Navuso of Fiji, although fumbled initially. Couldn't be clean enough, and now Vitata comes through. Eventually the ball flicked over the top. Vunatambua gathers it, right boot down inside forward 50, back with a flight underneath the pill, unable to take the mark. Salivo back with courage, the Canadian defence, very close to the boundary line, and eventually off hands for a ball to be tossed back into play. So very much in control, the Canadian Northwind in the third quarter of this contest for 7th place.
So it's going to be, there is an injury there. Very slow to get up, the Fijian, who will get a free kick, in fact. And that is Salivu, who will look to drive it towards goal. Man on the mark is about 40 metres out, so he's backing himself to kick the journey, Salivu, from right on the stripe. He's got it right to the line, and in fact over the line and through for one behind to Samisa Salivu. He has got 1 goal 2, and the margin back to 2 straight kicks.
They're a bit of the walking wounded at the moment of the Canadian side. They've got a number of players already not playing in the game, as Brendan said, but they've got about 3 down on the bench that they've lost today already. It's a matter of whether they can hang on here.
Yeah, they would have wanted to bring 40 as it's taken by Keedy. And Alapati Keedy just shows what he's capable of from very few opportunities. The margin back to 1 straight kick. Keedy gets his first. And it's 3-6-24 Canada, 2-6-18 Fiji. 10.5 minutes gone in the third quarter.
Yeah, something out of nothing there for the Fijians. They've been battling away for the last 5 minutes, had most of the play down that half of the ground, but it's the play's been dominated by Canada so far in the term. And look, just one against the flow there for the Fijian side, but now they need to follow it up with a second.
It is amazing, isn't it? Because Canada has really dominated most of this third quarter, but Fiji find themselves within a kick. White in the ruck, ball down through the midfield. White had the spoil again Nuvuso. And now Canada through Klein, who's had plenty of the footy. One of the better players in this game, down a half forward. Very ill-directed pass. Valatieri takes the mark, or out of bounds on the full. In any case, so Fiji the try from half back. Trailing with a bit of momentum just by a goal so far, tumbling it. And that probably kept the ball in rather than floating out of bounds on the full in the end, where it eventually does go over the line for a ball in on centre wing.
Again, just kicking the ball back from where it came from when they had every opportunity to switch the player. They had a couple of players set up for the switch and just not prepared to pull the trigger on that occasion.
So boundary throw in. Ratu. White probably got the hand on it at the front spot. Kicked around the corner there from Vatiti. And there's a high tackle being picked up here, much to the chagrin of the Northwind bench. With free kick taken by Kati Vuabega. He goes out towards half forward. Pushed out of the contest was Gio Nwangatabu. And it's over the line for a throw in. About 55 metres around from the Fijian goal. If they kick the next one, it'll really set things up for a big finish. Bouncing ball favours Mathanawai, who gets around one, can't beat the second one, just got a hand pass away in time, thrown away by the Fijian big man in Gialevu. And a free kick to Canada. And it's a hold off the ball to Clay Lund. He runs from half-back. Lund kicks towards the wing. Loosemore, that's a good trap. Got a hand pass just in time. And Bainamolo Wanga might have got caught high. He was. And it'll be a free kick to Fiji at half-back.
A chance to go forward once more for Fiji. Short little pass will turn out okay on the end of it, getting it. May Gear up on the wing, chipping short, coming up the football. Vatata can't get the mark. Good spoil on him there, coming via hard and out of bounds. Good listening audience through Montreal as well. Just got a message, a number of people listening at Epoxy Pub in Montreal.
Worldwide audience.
Yes, I got a brother lives in Montreal, so I'm sure the fans will be very much listening and hoping that the Canadians can get the job done here. But a very tight contest at the moment, working their way through the midfield. Balamoli Waga trying to extract the footy out of that congestion and nothing, doing a ball up in midfield.
So no clear advantage to either team. Right on the centre wing position. White won it down, tapped over the top by Brassington. It came back to him off hands. Towards half forward he goes. Nash, this is a dangerous piece of play for Fiji. Nash couldn't get it away. It was well done by Izay Moses. Managed to keep him from getting a clear possession. Picked up by Tebweki Badavoli, who booted it back from where it came. And there's a push out in the contest. Free kick to Canada. Too far out to score there is Heward. You would think man on the marks at 50. Kicks inside to the pocket. Not a good kick. It was all Fiji, and John Valatieri took the mark.
Bit of a waste there, wasted opportunity for Canada going forward. Didn't really try to pinpoint a teammate at all then, just blazed away.
3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Ball goes out from Valatieri and into the trees. Tell you what, those trees have had more possessions than some of the players on the ground.
It's like Groundhog Day, isn't it? Really? Just watching the Fijians try to bring the ball out of defence.
It's a big mistake, isn't it, to continue to do that. Now, there's a whistle here. It was...
I think Klein's played on outside the boundary, so it'll be a throw in.
Yeah, Salavo thought, hello, I've got a full paddock in front of me here from half-back, and he was away, but then, unfortunately, has to come back. I think you're right, Brendan. I think that's exactly what has happened. Klein's a bit nonplussed about it. He's not sure what's happened, but in any case, the ball's being tossed back in, goes nowhere near with that wind near the players, and it goes down to ground level. Magirgir did nicely to extract it for Fiji, but his execution not to the same quality and out of bounds on the full. So the footy will be in the hands with Aspel for Canada, who dumps it long inside forward 50. Loosemore gets mitts to it, can't take the mark. Valatieri did nicely, comes off the feet of a couple, and now a pack forming. Loosemore underneath, all that. And Graham as well, and we have a bounce around 40 metres sitting out from the attacking goal of Canada.
So, big opportunity here for the Canadians. Loosemore thumps it forward. It's all Fiji back there. And Mathanawai sees it over for a boundary throw-in, which is a pretty good result for the North Wind.
It certainly is. If they can lock this ball inside their half of the ground now with just a minute and a half to go, maybe get a shot at goal and another score, it'll hold them in good stead heading towards this last term.
Loosemore taps it out the back, but a flying boot out of there. From the Tribe defence, and a strong mark taken at halfback by Kadi Fuabenga. He plays on with the right boot towards half forward. The mark was dropped there by Reynolds. In fact, that was Kyle Graham. And the umpire says, give it to me, as he was wrapped up straight away. It's just over a minute to go. One down by Salavu. Can they break clear Fiji? This is Ratu. Threw it on the boot up towards half forward. The big man, Masu, couldn't take the mark. And he's going to get a free kick, is he?
He is, yeah. One-handed handball there. I think he's a little bit unlucky in that he never really took possession of the ball. It was more of a tap in front of him, but umpire didn't see it that way.
And Patamosi Salawa Masavu, who I think we saw kick a goal on or around about the three-quarter time siren against Fiji last week. So he knows where they are. And this is a huge kick in the context of the game. He sets it up on the breeze, and it doesn't swing back enough. And it's through for one behind to Salawa Masavu. And that will just about do us for the third quarter as Canada lead 3 goals, 6-24 to Fiji 2-7-19.
And that is the three-quarter time siren. Shane, it's all in front of us in the final term. It's going to be a ripping contest. Not much between these two sides. Fascinating final term to come.
Certainly will be. The Fijians really fought back hard in that in the last half of that quarter in what looked to be, certainly for the first 5 or 10 minutes, Canada were going to run away with it a little bit. They dominated possession. They dominated the ball inside their forward half of the ground. But the Fijians, they just stuck at it and have managed to get the margin back to 5 points. And I think heading into the last quarter, I think we're going to be in for a game that's going to go right down to the last seconds.
So it is three-quarter time here at Ransford Oval in the 7v8 playoff. With that behind on the siren, cutting the margin to 5 points. Canada 3-6-24, Fiji 2-7-19. And we will be back very shortly for this final term. Hopefully that rain stays away. It's starting to get a bit black over behind us here at Royal Park.
Kind of go back onto that back flank there. CJ go onto the wing. Yep. Okay. Logs come onto the half-forward flank. Yep. Kid go back to deep, okay? You guys are probably going to have to come up a little bit this quarter. Yep. I'd rather it look more like this.
Yeah.
Lock it in up there. They can't win it across here. Okay. Just one thing to watch as well, them exiting out the back of the contest. Okay? So their natural movement is to go backwards, ours is to just steamroll forwards. Okay? So don't get trapped letting them exit out the back, because then, like we've seen over and over and over again the last couple, it's 1, 2, 3 handballs, and then they're away. Okay? Let's just be super aware of the situation throughout the next 17 and a half minutes, okay? Every so often, have a look at the clock, see what it's doing, okay? It's gonna come down to the wire. These are the exciting ones, boys.
Here we go, boys.
No one said this tournament was easy. If it was easy, we wouldn't want to be here, okay? Stick to our guns, we're playing good footy, okay? Playing good footy, use the wind to our advantage when we want it, okay? Attack on this top side. It's okay if we want to defend on the bottom side, okay? If we're under the pump for a couple of minutes and we just want to take it out there and let it sit on the wing for a couple of minutes, let's do that. Okay? Be smart about our footy, chip away and look after each other. 17 and a half more minutes together, boys, and that's it.
Let's do it, boys.
Let's go.
Let's go,
Let's
boys.
Let's sing our song. Let's sing our song.
Minutes, but we're underway in the final quarter. Steve Murphy.
We are. Gear goes forward, hand pass across. Vatata for Fiji inside forward 50. Big final term coming up. Sing back, can't take the mark. Gio with Fiji attacked it with pace. Good strength. Turns around left boot inside forward 50. Piercing ball down there towards Paulie. No mark taken. Defensive effort by Martin was good, but a hold, a free kick. It's going the way of Canada in the back pocket here. Initially, the umpire did signal the way of Fiji, which would have made the Canadians slightly nervous. Anyway, the ball, free kick going the way of Martin. Kicks it outside defensive 50. Up towards Brassington. Can't take the mark. The pack falling. Bane Molly Wagga hanging around the pill as well. Alongside him is Tuiova. No free kick paid or no possession. A ball up, sitting just forward of centre wing for Fiji.
Guys, confirming that the score is Canada 3-6-24, Fiji 2-6-18. So Fiji have had a behind taken off their score. That we have, and that was the one taken, the disputed behind on the halftime siren when Canada thought that the clock had expired. They decided that it did expire, so that last behind was removed from the score. So hence it is a 6-point lead to Canada as Brancati sends it to the outer side. It goes through the hands of White and over for a boundary throw-in. So interesting decision that they've made there. The siren obviously didn't go off when it should have. So is that one of your explanations of things happening in time there, Shane?
It's hard to understand how some things happen, but the rule makers at B, they decide these things, so you go with them, don't you?
Certainly do. They made the decision quickly and efficiently. They just didn't let us know, unfortunately. We'll have a ball up at the top of the 50 here. One down by Brancati, slapped forward by Bainamolo Vaga. He tries to go through now, Vatiti. He can't break away. Keaty was caught. Could have got a free kick, Canada. Aspel swung back around onto the right boot. Dangerous kick. Ball knocked to ground by Mathanawai. He picks up the crumb and just misses to the near side. Exciting stuff by Jonathan Mathanawai, just missing. Margin back to 5 points officially now.
Martin bringing the footy back in. There was some conjecture just near that break, wasn't there, with the Canadian bench coming up to us. And certainly thought that it had elapsed past its time. So obviously a win to Canada on that occasion. So 5 points the margin. Very tight contest this one for 7th place in International Cup Grand Final day. Salvador flies at the footy. Can't quite take the mark. When again, flick over the top. Trying to prize it clear. Sing for Canada, held on to for a long time without possession of the footy and will be rewarded with a free kick. So Canada, the first time they'll get to venture forward of centre wing in the final term, have a 5-point lead, but it won't be enough to win the game. They'll need to kick, you would fancy, at least another one, probably 2 goals to assure things. Moses under the ball. No mark taken. Ball hit the ground level. But volley there as well for Fiji, but illegally gave away a free kick. So Canada, a couple of free kicks, find themselves about to surge forward once more. Players streaming forward. Need a couple of leading options up at the pill. Nothing doing at the moment. A lot of stagnant sort of footy. A lot of one-on-ones as well. Down towards the direction out here of White. Just short of him. Fiji with numbers. Rebound from half-back. Fumbling the footy there was Mangir. Now wrapped up in a tackle. Players come left, right, centre. McDonald, one of those for Canada. Around as well is Anderson, and we have a tied-up footy in midfield.
You just get the feeling that the Canadians are starting to get a bit tired. The lack of rotations off the bench starting to take its toll. There's not a lot of movement out there from them.
He said they worked the bench heavily early on, but just the lack of numbers is catching up with them now. Bridges got a kick towards half forward. How brave are they, Canada? They were brave in beating Great Britain men down in round 2. Singh and Keaty. Now this is Duggan. He got dispossessed. Off the ground goes Adair. Into the centre it goes. Here's a chance now for Fiji through Magetta. He kicks to half forward. Backing himself, Martin took the mark and he played on. And, well, lack of talk, he just decided he was off and was run down immediately by Pauly. And Jeffrey Pauly, well, he says, I'm going for goal. He's got a big leg on him, but this is going to take everything he's got and then some. Pauly kicks long from 55, goes right to the line. Keaty out of the pack, not quite, taken by Brancati, threw it on the boot and found open space for Canada.
Out wide, trying to trap the football down here. Pauly kept it alive momentarily. Wolfgram demanding the footy. Wolfgram receiving the footy. Left boot, swings it nice and high down deep towards the pocket. Plenty of players, but in the end it's travelled off hands and out of bounds for a ball tossed in. But the forward attacking half of the ground for Fiji, right next to the left behind post. A good opportunity to score here. Early stages, final turn. Ball tossed back in. Clouds start to gather once more. Loose more under it. Did well for Canada. Tapped it forward. Cleared the congestion a little bit. Hurry kick came by Graham out of defence, but only as far as Bain Molly Wagga, who went back inside forward 50. Gio for Fiji. Traps it. Spins around left boot. Well, I'm not sure about the execution, but it might turn out okay. A chance for Bain Molly Wagga again. Goes past him. Rebounding from halfback. Cleverly done there. Terrasingi of Canada tumbles it up towards the wing. Fiji with plenty of numbers. Wolfgram again demanding the ball in midfield, nothing doing. So it's left to Matha Anawai to dump it long inside forward 50. A chance off hands to gather and have a shot. Selawa can't do much with it. Comes off hands. Salavo again, a chance close to the boundary line. It comes off Brancati's hands for Canada and out of bounds at forward 50 for Fiji.
You can just see the desperation from both teams at the moment. The Fijians just trying to get that goal to get the nose in front, and Canada just trying to hold on.
Yeah, holding on desperately. The north wind. Loosemore won it down. Toe poked forward, and then it came back to Vititi, who kicks towards half forward. Nash, the full forward, has come back behind the play, and he just bombs it off the bench. Was Bork, but he couldn't hang on to it, and the numbers get back for Fiji. Running hard was Wolfgram. Goes one way, then back the other. Little kick around the corner towards half forward. With pace, it got to Magetta, who has it at half forward. Wolfgram wants it back. Magetta says no. Kicks up towards half forward. Nash has to go with the fist for Canada. Front and centre there was Ricoli. Can he get a handball away? No. Pack converges over the ball and we'll have a throw in. I'll tell you what, Dylan Wolfgram, he looks not unlike David Roden in his movements, who we've seen here on the Fijian bench.
I was just about to say the same thing, and he's been important in this last quarter so far. Hasn't wasted the ball when he's had it, more importantly.
He is a quality kick as well. He's one of the best kicks, just period, in football. Beautiful kick of the footy. And Fiji's come up with a ball here. It's going the way of Bain Molly Wagga, who has the ball. He's come right into the game in the second half. Has it too far out to score. He's inside the centre square. In any case, he likes his chances.
Got the kinetic tape on his neck, which is interesting. I've never seen it there.
Bain Molly Wagga kick. Well, lobbed well short. Bit ambitious. Bit off more than he could chew, perhaps. Inside forward 50. Kitty flew for the ball. And Brancati lays a tackle alongside Duggan of Canada. So the ball will be thrown up again. Brave in defence at the moment, the Canadians, but they really want to transfer this ball to the other end. Reynolds waits around. Has faded out of the game slightly in the second half. Pinballs off a couple. Coming, prizing his way through out of the congestion there. But Voley tries to get a boot to it. Brancati again in the way. Lund of Canada gathered it, tackled immediately. Plethora of players around the ball, and eventually a ball up around 15 metres from Fiji's attacking goal.
The problem that Canada have at the moment, they've got all these numbers behind the ball that when they do win possession and look to bring it out, that it's just coming straight back because they've got no one across half-back to win the contest.
Lund gathers for Canada, fed it back to Nash. Can he get through traffic? He can't. He goes over for a boundary throw-in. 9 minutes remaining in the International Cup for Canada and Fiji. It's a 5-point ball game in favour of the North Wind, but the Tribe are deep in attack. Crucial stage of this game for Fiji. Thumped away by Loosemore. Oh, it's picked up, however, here by Salavu. Up in the air, back into traffic. Cow, great mark taken by Vunatabua. Somehow worked his way to the front and clung on at the front of the pack. Thought about a pass, but then thought better of it. And Jerry Vunatabua, who plays for the University of New South Wales Eastern Suburbs Bulldogs up in Sydney, can line up to put his team in front.
Very important kick. This would be an understatement, but they need reward for effort here, Fiji.
He's kicked just the one goal in the tournament so far, and he's still only got one. Vunatabua through for a behind, his second of the day. Margin back to 4 points with 8 minutes remaining.
Even if Canada did get a quick kick out there, they were well set up behind the footy as well, Fiji, to bring that footy back into play. Martin, low kick to Brancati. Good pass, good mark, so accurate. Now again, but for that outer side, we've seen the Breeze take that ball once it gets any air about it, out of bounds on the full. So the kick on this occasion won't even get that far, straight on the man on the mark. Well, having to come in to defend there was Martin of Canada to hold it up. But a bad error, and again, hemmed up inside forward 50. Canada inside the forward 50 of Fiji attacking. 4 points the margin between the two sides. It's been all up here in the final term. Loosemore flew at the ball down to ground level. Roccoli, a chance for Fiji. Comes off a couple. McDonald went after the ball low and hard. Mathanawai as well for Fiji, and Canada managed to bulldoze it forward a few metres, and now it sits 45 metres sitting out from Fiji's attacking goal.
Nervy times here for Team Canada. Loosemore won the tap. Trying to step through traffic was Karoy, got a hand pass back. Unable to trap it, and it's over the line for a boundary throw-in. Of course, the Division 2 Grand Final is the big game today here at Royal Park, Germany and Croatia. Looking forward to that one a little bit later on this afternoon. The big ones in Division 1 and the women as AFL curtain raises tomorrow. We'll talk about them later. Snap around the corner came from Magetta. Floats on the breeze, back towards half forward, it'll run away. Backing himself and charging out of defence was Klein, who kicks down towards half forward. It's a 3-on-1 here for Fiji. Wolfgram slips one tackle. He stuck at it, the Canadian forward, and eventually it was booted away by Valatieri, only as far as Reynolds, who did well. Great work by Morgan White here, and that's what created the turnover.
Brassington goes wide and clears the back of the pack, trying to run onto it. Bork of Canada, tunnel balling it. He has to compete against Tuiova here, very close to the boundary line, and it is over the line in the end for a ball in. So Canada have actually done very well then. They've managed to hold up, absorb all the pressure from Fiji and managed to work it down to the forward half of the ground. And now, possibly, with a kick, they'll be inside forward 50. Loosemore runs at the ball, got front position, wins it down, looks for Lund to run onto the ball. Can't quite do it. Brassington over the top, kicked it forward with some meterage. And well done, Bain Molly Wagga put his body on the line and sees the ball over the line and dead for a ball in. 50 metres now out, but from Canada's attacking goal.
As much as Fiji have been dominating in the possession in this quarter, they haven't made it count on the scoreboard. Now they're running into the problem that time's going to be their enemy as we get down into the last 5 minutes of this quarter.
Starting to be a few nervous looks at the clock from the Canadian bench, from Cody Royal and the staff and supporters there. They want these 5 minutes to disappear a lot quicker than they're going to. Nash on the outside of the boot around the corner. Desperation. Lund dives back in there again. Quick kick away for Fiji towards the wing. Singh did well with the spoil. Great hand pass from Magetta, and they're away. Vititi kicks up towards half forward, misses the target. Dropping the mark was Brancati. Puts the pressure on his teammates, and eventually it's worked towards the line and over for a boundary throw-in.
Did well there, Brancati, because the last thing that they wanted to do there was get the quick release out the back and allow Fiji to run into a forward line that was full of space.
You'd have to say, Shane, just one goal for Canada is enough?
You'd think that the way they're holding on, the way they're defending, they're doing a very good job. You'd love to see them get another one, though. They need to be trying to score.
You don't think Fiji can kick 2 from here?
Lewis Moore against Ricoli. Anderson sees across the line. Well, that's exactly right. It's been such tough going, and Canada's numbers back in defence has been very much all but maybe 4 or 5 players that have been.
Umpires found something behind the play. I think
Fiji's 50. It's going to Fiji as well, is it?
A Shepherd has been picked. The umpire is signalling Shepherd. Whose free kick is it? I think it's against Keaty.
It's going to Canada, it is, yeah.
Well, in that case, why is it not being paid up where the ball was, where the boundary throw-in was?
To the advantage of the team, yep, agreed.
Okay, well, in any case, I guess Canada's got the footy, so they'd be happy with that. The ball up towards the wing, White, the intended target. No mark taken down there. And a pack forming a bounce on the wing. So from what was a 50-50 ball, throwing in, free kick to Canada. Some ill-discipline by the Fijians on that occasion. Loose more uncontested, wins it down at ground level. Brassington hand pass forward, looking for Teresingi to run onto it. But eventually Reynoldson gathers the ball, hand pass back across, looking for Bork. He's wrapped up immediately. Very close to the boundary line across there. Number of players around it. Bainmoli Wagga there for Fiji. And eventually they prize it out of the congestion. Navuso did nicely down towards half forward, sliding Brancati again. Players come north, south, east, west to tie up that ball. 45 metres out. Fiji, well, they're still behind by 4 points, but they are pressing in this final term.
They've got just under 3 minutes, Fiji, to find a match-winning goal. Loosemore won it down, slapped further afield. Tui over, gets it out towards half forward. It goes over the line for a boundary throw-in. Still just inside that 45-metre arc here at Ransford Oval. Dying stages of the game. Canada desperately holding on. We have not seen a goal in this final quarter. Loosemore, he's winning all the taps, trying to clear zones. Bridges just kicks it back into traffic. A big jump from Magetta brought the mark down. Probably too far out to score Magetta. The numbers need to get back. They are back for Canada. I wouldn't mind them having a few more back there. And it is Magetta, Leone, who hasn't kicked a goal from the Rawaka Crows out of Suva. He'll kick from about 52 metres. He's given it a good ride. And he's just missed to the near side. That was a big kick from Magetta. And through for 1 point. Margin back to 3 as we tick towards 90 seconds to go.
They just need to hold on to the footy here, Canada.
Well, the draw's out of the equation, that's for sure. McDonald brings it back in nice and long. That'll be out of bounds on the full. I don't think it was touched, or it's probably floated over in any case, so it won't matter. The free kick going to Wolfgram now. He is a long kick of the footy. He's going to play on, take advantage. Can he get close enough? No, he can't, so he puts it up. Real hot spot, 20 metres out. Oh, big fly there, coming 3 deep. Selawa couldn't get his hands on the ball. Still a chance for a whistle. Okay, a free kick.
Fiji.
High contact.
Or Canada. He's pointed the wrong way again.
Had to be because Selawa flew uncontested, really. Well, flew for the footy. Didn't get hands on it. So Canada come up with a free kick in defence. It'll go the way. I think it's Martin with it. And Canada clear it from defence. Maybe last rides here for Fiji. Can they get the footy back? Back inside forward 50. A chance off the pack. Moses gathers, wrapped up. A big decision here. A free kick to Canada. And that may almost be enough.
Seen one after the siren result here on Tuesday when New Zealand broke the Irish hearts. But they're going to need something special now here, Fiji. The Canadians just chewing up the clock, and the umpire allowed him to take over 20 seconds off it there. Kick goes towards half forward and out of bounds on the full. So they'll have about 15 seconds here, Fiji, from the centre wing. I don't think they're going to have time, but Wolfgram takes off, has a bounce, needs to find a target, sets it up. They need a mark here, Fiji, inside 50. Canada with all the numbers back, booted away from Bridges. That will be enough. And Canada has won a thriller, or has he? What's the umpire picked out here? No, he's picked out a free kick. They haven't heard the siren. The umpires have not heard the siren, but it has sounded here. So we need to blow the siren again. It has sounded, and the umpire is paying a free kick to Canada, and now it's been heard. So Canada have won in a goalless last quarter. They get 7th spot in an absolute thriller. They didn't score in the last term, the Canadians. Fiji kicked 3 behinds as they desperately tried to pull it home. but it is the North Wind who gets 7th spot over Fiji, who dropped to 8th. 3-6-24 Canada, Fiji 2-9-21. 2 goals to Adam Nash, 1 to Eric Klein for Canada. And for Fiji, Samisa Salavu and Alapati Keaty with the goals. And you just look at the Canadians, the walking wounded, there's a sling there, there's crutches there, and all sorts of injuries they've had.
Pleasure, man. Lots of fun.
Rock back there. Love it.
Good job, Win. Hey. What a ride, boys. What a ride. Come on. Hey, fucking play.
Guys, fight for our fans. Yeah, fight for our fans. Get his fucking guts more, ladies. Let's go.